Hey, I'm back. This is Chandler for Melda Production. Previously, I've talked about MDelayMB and about all the cool things you can do, especially with the multi-band stuff, and I'm going to show you how to do some more stuff with a newer multi-band mode, the serial mode. And before I show you how to do cool stuff with the parallel mode, but now let's get into the serial mode. For this mode, I recommend using this on a delay bus. If not, you're going to get the dry signal going into all the bands, and we don't want that. So use this on a bus. Depending on how your DAW works, just put it on a separate track, and then go from your, input of whatever instrument you have. I'm using a guitar, but you can use whatever you want, and go into that bus. And so if I turn this off, I'll let you just hear the guitar sound. It sounds like this. Nothing particularly interesting. Instead of using one of these devices, let's go in here and just use one band. Now, from here we can set up whatever we want. One of the things I really like to use this technique for is as like a pre-delay. So what we can do here is just set up whatever we want. Let's say a quarter note. Okay, I'm going to set this to classic mode. And for this, the feedback, it's not going to affect the first repeat. So if I set it like this, we should just hear one repeat. Unmute it and let's hear it. Oh, one thing I should also mention, for this, also make sure you turn down the dry. You might want to turn down the output too, but that's up to you. One more time. Now that's cool, but let's say we wanted a ping pong delay. We could certainly set it up here, and we can still do that, but I may not want the ping pong to start on this first one. I might want to delay that by a quarter note, or let's say I want it to be delayed by a quarter note and then do an eighth note ping pong delay. We could do it here and use the serial mode here, but let's say you don't want to use this for whatever reason, or you think, this isn't enough, I need more than 2 taps. What we can do is just right click here and go into serial here and add another band. What we're going to do here is just sync this up. We have eighth note delay, go to ping pong, turn the feedback up, and we'll turn this all the way to the left or the right. And now let's hear what happens. So now you heard, it's like we had that quarter note delay and then the eighth note started. And you could even do something else like, okay, let's try with triplets. So you can do whatever, subdivision you want. Let's try quarter note triplets. I like that better. Sorry, that cutoff was a little bit harsh. But as you can see, there's lots of cool things we can do, and we're just using the first band like a pre-delay. So this is really nice. This one, I'm only doing like 1 bar per chord, but especially if I had a very long space in between the chords, this would be something cool that could really stretch that out. But let's do a little bit more. Let's say I have this, and let's go back to straight, and I have this. Actually, let's do something a little bit different. Let's say I want to do more of a, let's say, slapback delay. I'm going to set this at 30-second notes. Now, of course, normally I would set this using this, but in this case, let's try using the sync. I'll see if the 30-second notes sound good. Now, what we should hear is a quarter note space followed by almost like a slapback delay, a quick slapback delay. And if you think, I actually don't like that, you can try a few other subdivisions, like let's try 64th notes. It's not quite right. Try triplets. And we can mess with this forever until it sounds right. Maybe it sounded best with the straight eighth notes. Now, this is great, but the problem is, one, it's not repeating. Maybe I want this to repeat over and over again instead of having this kind of like short sound. What I can do is I can add another one here, like this, and I can delay it from here. So let's say I want it eighth note delays, and I want it to repeat. Maybe some feedback, a little bit of feedback at least. Now this is kind of an interesting effect where I have that slapback delay, but it's being delayed, and not only is it being like pre-delayed, it's also being repeated. Make it even more interesting, say I do a slapback like that, and I put it on a ping pong delay, so it's going back and forth. Now, this is really cool to me. One thing you might notice is it seems like it's not quite in sync. And the reason is because I have this, 30-second note. Now, we can try to adjust that in various ways, but an easy way is just use the modify and use our ears. So this will change it from a complete eighth note, and this will just kind of make it a little bit faster or slower like this. So let's try about like 95, see how this sounds. Now, you could probably calculate it, but I just like to set it by ear like that. And that sounds good to me. So for me, this is a really cool way and a cool thing you can do with this. But of course, you could do this the other way around. I could start with this one and do the ping pong there. I can move the left and the right to create a bunch of different stereo sounds like that. So if I wanted, let me get rid of this, just delete this one. If I wanted a slapback delay here, make a classic slapback with this. Oh, I'm in the wrong one. One of the things when you're working with so many bands, sometimes you get confused about which band you're on. So I can move this up just like a slapback delay. For this one, instead of muting it, you use the bypass here, so I can hear just what the first band is doing. Turn this down a bit. Like that. And then this band, I can put, let's say, stereo delay. I can do eighth notes, or let's say, yeah, quarter notes, I guess. And I can move this stereo around like this to make it a little bit more stereo. Try 4 up and 4 down. And how much feedback do I have? Yeah, do classic mode like this. So you can see there, you get that cool like stereo slapback that might be difficult to do another way. You can even do longer ones like this. So this mode is really cool because it's just like having a bunch of delay pedals and rigging them up in series. Reminds me of, having a pedal board, which I used to use a long time ago. These days I'm not playing out so much anymore, but before I used to do that. So you can have all sorts of fun with this. If you like this, give me a thumbs up, leave me any questions or comments below, and check out all the other plugins at melterproduction.com. Till next time, see you.